welcome back to the news desk again for this special edition looking at WrestleMania. Now, we haven't covered wrestling a whole lot the last few months, but it's time to get back into the swing of things as summertime rolls up and as we head into WrestleMania, on to SummerSlam, into Survivor Series, a pretty exciting time. Should be. Let's take a look at WrestleMania 1 week away and see how excited we are for all the matches. First up, we've got Rock versus Cena. Now, this is considered to be one of the most highly anticipated matches of all time, probably because they've been hyping it for a year. And, of course, Rock symbolizes all of the Attitude Era guys. John Cena, symbolizes the new era of guys. And the question is whether or not The Rock will actually pass the torch on to John Cena. Now, quite frankly, I think he probably will. I think he's going to lose to John Cena and allow John Cena to carry the torch, pick up the mantle, however you want to say it. Basically, right now, Rock does not want to go back to wrestling full-time. He's basically come back as a favor, just come back to get back in touch with some of the fans. I guess maybe he doesn't want to do Tooth Fairy 3, so he decided maybe it's time to focus on wrestling for a little bit and rebuild his fan base a little bit. But he does not want to be back wrestling full-time, so I don't see any reason why he should go over John Cena, except for the fact that he's famous, and WWE does have a tendency to go for that a little harder than they should. Next up, Hell in a Cell, Undertaker versus Triple H with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. I fully expect Undertaker to win this one as usual. I expect there to be some sort of interference from Shawn Michaels. Why else would he be there? What exactly that entails, I don't know. But I tell you what I do fully expect to see in this match. I expect to see The Undertaker disappear at the end of it and announce his retirement. I don't expect any more matches out of the big guy, except maybe when he's inducted into the Hall of Fame, WrestleMania in a few years, he may come back for a charity match, maybe appear in the Royal Rumble a few more years down the road, but for the most part, his career is over. He's got a lot of back problems. I believe he's got some knee and or hip problems, and so basically, his career is more or less over. This is going to be his big final match. So I fully expect some sort of pyrotechnic display after he wins. Flames, lightning bolts, whatever. And then the smoke will clear, and then he will be gone. And that will be the end of The Undertaker, going out on a high note, undefeated at WrestleMania. Next up, Team Teddy versus Team Johnny. This is basically the, hey, let's get a bunch of guys on the pay-per-view. They can get their payoff and be on TV. Now, whether or not you really buy into this feud, I guess, depends on how much you really care about the general manager position. Teddy Long has basically been ineffectual as a general manager character. He just kind of appears sometimes, does his little dance thing, and then takes off. But he's a face. He's not supposed to do a whole lot. Now, Johnny Ace, on the other hand, he is a total heel from the way he speaks to the way he acts to, of course, what he does to affect the show. He is the total bad guy. I would kind of expect that in this one they're going to have Teddy Long win just so they can move Johnny back behind the camera where he has been for a long time. There's really nothing behind the scenes for Teddy Long to do. He was a referee for a long time. He was a manager now and again. But for right now, I just don't see John Laurinaitis, being taken on both shows all the time when he does have other duties behind the camera. WWE Championship, Chris Jericho versus CM Punk. Jericho's been on and off again with the WWE over the last few years, whereas CM Punk had that whole giant storyline where he had signed and said he didn't and won the title and supposedly left and was gone for like a week and then came back. If you remember all of that they rushed through what could have been an epic storyline. But basically, CM Punk is back. He'll be facing Jericho. I expect him to retain the title. I know that Jericho likes to continue to tour and write books and do whatever else on the side with his rock and roll projects and whatnot, so I don't see Jericho taking the title, but if he does, I expect it to be in some sort of transitional champion type of role. In the World Championship spot, though, we do have Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. This is one of those that could go either way. I'm not really sure how WWE management feels about Daniel Bryan at this point in time, whether or not they feel he's paying off like he should be. But this is one of those matches where I think they've probably made up their mind, and then they're going to change their mind, and then they're changing their mind again, and then day of the show they'll come up with something else. So, if anything else, I expect maybe a few run-ins on this one, probably end up a little goofy, And I really don't think anyone's going to care in the long run, which is a shame because Daniel Bryan is a great talent. Sheamus actually had a great run a few years ago as champion, and then they just kind of seemed to drop it. So, bit of a shame how this one is stacking up, but there's just no heat behind it. The Intercontinental Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Big Show. There you go. That's as exciting as that one gets. I don't know of a single person who's really all that enthusiastic about it. It's just going to be one of those matches on the show because they had two guys and they needed to have them do something, which kind of takes me on to the next match, which is Randy Orton versus Kane. Kane made his big reemergence in WWE, attacked John Cena. Then they realized they had a storyline for John Cena, so they moved Kane out to something else, which ended up being Randy Orton, because Randy Orton didn't have a storyline. So here you go. This is one of those hot coffee matches. If you remember a few years ago, they had Kane versus Chris Jericho because Chris Jericho spilled hot coffee on Kane. This is one that's, again, who cares? Randy Orton, great talent, underused, and I don't think that this match is really going to get anybody to care. But at least, if nothing else, it gives Orton something to do until they push him back up into the world title picture. Finally, Divas. We've got the team of Eve and Beth Phoenix versus Kelly and Maria Menounos. Menudo. I don't know how. She works on Extra. And for whatever reason, she's the celebrity they've put in this show. She apparently is a big fan. They had her hosting Raw last summer. She apparently enjoyed it. She wanted to do some more, and they said, hey, she's a host on Extra. If we do something with her, then we get lots of free plugs on TV. So there's your popcorn match. When this match comes on, make sure you go and use the bathroom, get yourself a refill, because this one's not really going to matter. And it's a shame, really. I mean, Beth Phoenix is a great wrestler. I think Eve Torres has a lot of potential. Kelly is just there, and Maria Menudo is from Extra. Well, guys, that's going to do it for our WrestleMania wrap-up. There's still two more people in the Teddy versus Johnny match that haven't been announced. They will be announced this week. We'll be back sometime later this week with a look at Raw, and a look at SmackDown, and look at any other news and notes heading into WrestleMania. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.